Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have got some new makeup sitting on my desk here that we are going to be trying out together today. I just placed an order from Ulta, some things that I've been accumulating in my cart over the last couple of weeks. Not quite a full face, but I've got some really interesting stuff in here, some new products from Flower Beauty. I've got a couple of new lip liner shades from one of my favorite drugstore lip liners. I have a really interesting looking bronzer from Kiko, and I did get my hands on the newer Nabla Read My Mind palette. I haven't even opened the box yet, but the packaging on this looks cuter in person even than it did online. I cannot wait to play with it. And one more thing, I also have a highlight trio that Kaja sent me over, so this is kind of separate, but we're going to try it out along with the stuff I picked up from Ulta today. Should be a lot of fun. I hope you guys are excited to see me try these products. Before we jump into the makeup, I want to give a special welcome to those of you that are new here. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, make sure that you are subscribed before you leave. Also, hit that notification bell so that you can be notified each time I upload a new video. And with all that said, I'm excited to rip into this packaging, so let's get right to it. Okay, so I do have my foundation on already. Today I used my Mise en Snail Repair BB Cream as my foundation. I have my Dior Forever Skin Concealer on. I also did my brows. In my brows I have my Revlon Color Stay Brow Ink and then the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze to set those in place. And that is as far as I got. The rest we're going to be applying with what I picked up today. So let's start off with the face. I want to show you guys this bronzer that I picked up. This, I don't know how I stumbled upon this bronzer. I haven't heard anyone talk about it. It had very few reviews online. It might have just been like, you know, when you're shopping and down below there's the little bar of like similar items or people also bought ... and then there's random things in there. It might have been in one of those little bars, but the packaging was what caught my eye. It's from the brand Kiko Milano. Here is the bronzer. Look at this, you guys. That is some glitzy, beautiful, beautiful packaging. So this is their Happy Birthday Bellezza Baked Bronzer. I have no idea how long this thing has been around. It looks so pretty though, and I started reading some reviews both on the Ulta website and I went over to the Kiko website to try and see kind of what this was all about. Maybe try and find some swatches of the different shades. By the way, I ended up going with the shade 01 Honey. Hopefully it's not going to be too light for me. I have a feeling this is going to be more of a luminous, maybe even shimmery bronzer. It smells really good. I think one of the reviews that I read on the Kiko website mentioned the smell, which is probably what really sold me on this. As soon as someone said it smells like vanilla cupcakes, I was like, all right, I'm in. So here's a close-up of the packaging so you guys can see how pretty it is and the product inside. Also, let me just give this a live swatch for you guys because bronzer swatches never show up very well, at least not for me. Okay, it's pretty shimmery. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. Ooh, that's a pretty shade, but it is quite shiny. I hope this goes okay. So that's all right. We're going to go ahead and give it a try. So let's start off with, I'm going to take this brush right here. This is the Alter Ego number 2, just a powder brush. I've kind of been loving this brush for bronzers lately. My Refer bronzer brush, which I washed about 2.5, maybe 3 weeks ago, is still clean. I still haven't dirtied it yet. I don't know why. This brush has like 6 billion brush hairs in it, so it takes a while to wash and dry, so I'm always like, I'm extra hesitant to get this one dirty. All right, let's give this thing a try. I'm just taking a couple little swirls of it. Ooh, it does smell really nice. It reminds me of the Too Faced bronzer a little bit. Maybe more vanilla than chocolate, but just really nice and sweet. So that sheen's not as strong as I initially thought it might be. I mean, you can definitely still see a sheen there, but it doesn't look crazy. Like sometimes when bronzers are overly sheeny, you'll kind of start to see some texture. I'm not really seeing the texture, I just see that subtle shine. It's not very dark, so I would imagine if you have deeper skin than me, the shade might not be a great one for you. Maybe if you have even more fair skin than me, kind of more light to porcelain, this might work even better on you than it is on me. I'm having to kind of build it up a little bit more than I typically would. It's tough because I don't want to build up so much that I start to get more of that shine, but I find myself needing a little bit more color out of this than it's giving me on just one swipe. Okay, there's the bronzer. It's pretty. I wish it was just a little bit darker. I kind of wish I would have gone with the darker shade. I was back and forth between these two, but it's so tough to pick shades online. And I find sometimes if I go a little too dark, sometimes those darker bronzers can end up being a little too orange on me. So I was hoping that this one would be dark enough for me. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's not like showing up as much as I wanted it to. And it's maybe a little warmer than I would typically like. But so far, I think it looks okay. Packaging and scent, an absolute 10 out of 10. I'm not so sure about the actual product on on me. Might need just a little bit more time. Okay, let's jump into these that I'm so excited to try out today. Unfortunately, I'll only be able to try out one. Actually, maybe we'll try out one on the lips and one on the cheeks. So I picked up 3 more of the Flower Beauty Gel Crush Lip and Cheeks. These are the last 3 shades that I do not own yet. I have Peach Crush right here, Blackberry Crush right here, and Citrus Crush right here. I cannot say that. Citrus Crush. So excited about these. I'm a big fan of the Flower Beauty Gel Crushes. So let me give these a little swatch for you guys. And then we'll decide which one we want to do for the cheeks and which one maybe we want to save for the lips. So this one is first. This is the Citrus Crush. Ooh, that is really pretty. Very orange, but a really good kind of sheer orange. That looks gorgeous. Let's see how that compares to Peach Crush. All right, so here is Peach Crush right there. You can see it seems a little bit lighter. It has a little bit more pink in it. It's kind of a corally pink, whereas this is like a true corally orange. Those both look gorgeous. And then last but not least, I have Blackberry Crush. Ooh, that looks beautiful. Oh my goodness. There is Blackberry Crush right there. Much more of like a cool kind of mauve berry tone. Nice and sheer though. I was a little worried that this one would be a little dark because online, like the actual product inside looks pretty dark, but that's nice and sheer. I think it will definitely still work for me. So let's see. What do I want to do? I'm so curious to try out this orangey coral shade on my cheeks. I might try this one on my cheeks and then we'll decide between these two once we get to the lips when we're all done. So let's take the Citrus Crush. I'm going to take that on my Alter Ego number 4 brush. And dab some of that on the back of my hand just to get it evenly in the brush and make sure there's not too much on the brush because I have a feeling this one's going to be pretty pigmented. And let's just start. Ooh, that's pretty. Very fun summer color. I love that. Very fun, vibrant, corally color. I'm going to take my sponge and just go around the edges a little bit. There we go. All right, let's move into highlighter. So as I mentioned, Kaja sent me this Viva Shine Multi-Highlighter Trio. So looking at the insert it came with, it looks like there's like a glitter topper, a kind of champagne highlighter, and a more gold tone highlighter. Here is, oh boy, yeah, very glittery glitter. I mean like chunky glitter. It is kind of soft and creamy. Oh, that's pretty. That would be really pretty on the eyes for like a special occasion kind of look. I'm not one to reach for glitter super often. There's multi-sized particles in this. Like there's some that are really small and refined. Then there's a handful of really large particles, but could be kind of fun for a special occasion. Maybe if Charlie ever does dance or something, I'll save something like this and put it on her when she's older. I'm feeling it's the next two that will probably work best for me. So this second slot right here feels like a cross between a powder and a cream. This one's really, actually, yeah, it is a little bit on the creamy side. So there's this one right there. It's pretty sheer, but I mean, there's definitely some intensity there. It's much more creamy when you swatch it than it is even when you fill it in the pan. Maybe not quite as creamy as like the ColourPop. And then last is this one right here. This is a little bit more bronzy. I hate to disturb that cute little Kaja imprint right there. Let's give this one a swatch. So that is pretty. Probably going to be too dark for my cheeks, but oh man, you guys, that will be beautiful on my eyes. Look at that pretty gold color. It's kind of gold, has some like peachy pink and some kind of greenish golden particles of really refined glitter. That is beautiful. I'm very interested to put this one on my eyes actually, but obviously today we're probably going to go with the one in the middle. Might be the only one that works for my cheek. So let's take this on my Luxie highlighter brush. I know it is kind of a cream slash powder, but I want to try it with a brush first and see how it applies. Okay, yeah, it's definitely showing up. Pretty. That is gorgeous. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful color. Really nice and sheer. I imagine this would work for just about any skin tone. It's not too blinding. I mean it's pretty reflective. I put on a couple of layers, but that's really beautiful. Really pretty texture. It doesn't seem to be too glittery. I love the creamy subtly creamy finish. So now let's move into the eyes. So I have the Nabla Read My Mind palette here. I cannot wait to open this thing up. This has actually been sitting on my desk area here for like a week now. We've been super busy with just baseball and graduation and painting and getting the room ready, so I haven't had a chance to film with it yet. But here is the palette packaging. So fun, so pretty. I love these little tiles. I think that's such a fun design. But open it up already, Mandy. That's what everyone's here to see. Oh, wow. This looks super fun. So I am so excited to try this out. I mentioned in my wish list video that I did, I think towards the beginning of last month, I mentioned I had my eye on this palette. I had a handful of comments from you guys saying, yes, try that out. Also around that same time, I noticed that Jen Phelps did a video where she said this was like an underrated palette. So that's all it took. It went in my cart right after that, and we're going to try it out today. I think this is such a fun setup. You've got the like 4 quadrants here. It's like 4 little quads, but you can certainly mix and match. So it looks like there are 10 mattes and 6 shimmers. So far it looks like all these mattes are just the traditional matte formula. I've mentioned a few times that some of the mattes that I really love from Nabla are these cream powdery mattes that they have like in the Nabla Cutie Nude palette. So I'm going to go ahead and insert for you guys right here a close-up of the palette, the swatches on my arm so you can see what the shades look like next to each other. So as for what I want to try and do today, what kind of look do I want to try with this? I'm so curious about these tealy kind of greeny blues. These are the kind of green slash blues that I actually like. Anything that veers too far from these I'm very afraid of, but it's kind of ironic that I'm so afraid of blue eyeshadow, yet shades like this always really draw me in, like the dusty kind of like blue greens or even more kind of teal shades, as long as they're not too bold. But I also am very curious about this kind of bronze shade. Looks lovely. This gold looks really interesting. Oh my goodness, look at that, you guys. I don't know if you can see this. This is like a duochrome. It's kind of pink, kind of gold, and kind of like fiery orange. That could be really fun. That might match my cheeks really good today too, and maybe if we end up doing something more coral on the lips. I do want to swatch these lighter shades and see how light they are. Ooh, that's a pretty kind of light gold. It's not too light. And then this one right here, that's more of like a true kind of champagne. Those are pretty. Those will be good inner corner or inner lid shades. We'll just kind of dip in and see where we end up. So today let's start off with my Pfeffer number 16 brush. Actually, let's go with this one first. This kind of really light beige in the honey row at the bottom. I always get rows and columns mixed up. You think after all these years, I wouldn't have to think about that so hard, but I still have to like think, okay, rows, columns. Yes, that's right. So I'm just gonna run this all through my crease. That is pretty cool toned. I'm hoping it doesn't kind of clash with that very warm gold that we're going to be using. It is nice though. I kind of like the idea that there's a cool tone transition shade in here as well as this warm camel brown. Let's jump over to this shade right here, this kind of mauvey pink at the top, that mid-tone mauve. It's the number 2. These are numbered. I just realized they have numbers on them. So we just used number 13. Now we're jumping into number 2. Interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a palette that has the shades just numbered. Makes it kind of convenient actually. I'm just building that up right through the crease and outer corner. A little bit lower than where I put that brown. Now, let's see, I want to swatch this shade again. Actually, I want to start building up a little bit of this red in the outer corner because I really want to bring up kind of the red or kind of fiery coral in this shimmer. So we're taking my Pfeffer number 14 brush. We're going to take the number 4 shade and just pop that in this outer corner. We're going to take that second shade that I used, the number 2 shade. We're going to run that under the lower lash line. Just about halfway across. Now let's dip into this shimmer. This is number 5, and just take that on my ring finger. Oh man, you guys have you gotta see this in person. I hope the camera's kind of picking up just the majesty of this shade right here. We're going to pop that all over the lid. Kind of leave that inner corner a little bit blank. We're going to add that champagne. Oh wow, that is a beautiful lid shimmer. Look at that, you guys. Doesn't look anything like that in the pan. Like on the eye, you're getting a lot more of the pink, whereas you look at it straight, well, it depends on how you look at it. If you look at it like straight on, but if you look at it from the side, it looks almost green. Really cool shade. I love shades like this. So pretty. We're going to take that number 2 brush again. I'm going to dip back into that dark red, the number 4. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more of this to this outer lash line and kind of outer corner. I'm just working on the shape right here. Very nice. All right, let's do, first I want to go in with this matte cream right here, the number 8. This looks like kind of just like a matte white / ivory. Really nice and pigmented. So I'm going to take a little bit of this on this tiny little pinpoint Refer number 3 brush. We're going to add this to the inner corner, and then we'll pop the shimmer on top of this shade. Just want to see if this can give me a little extra brightness on my inner corner. Okay, now I'm going to dip that same brush into this shade here at the bottom, number 14. It's kind of like a champagne, a golden champagne. And we're going to put this on the inner lid, but not necessarily the inner corner. So I'm leaving this part free of the shimmer. This is just going to overlap, kind of cover that inner part of the lid and overlap that shimmer. It's going to do it for the eyes. Let's add some liner. I'm going to take, oh, I was going to do my Wet n Wild. Actually, let's do a gel liner today. I'm going to take my Natasha Denona Work & Set gel liner. I'm just going to add a little bit of this to my upper waterline, a tiny little baby wing on each side, and then I don't think I have a new mascara. No. Then I'm going to add a couple of coats of my Power Up mascara. Then I'll be back with you guys and we'll finish off with the lips, and I'll share my final thoughts with you guys on everything. Alright guys, eyes are all finished. Love this eye look. This is a very exciting palette. Very fun. Really interesting shades inside here. I am dying over this lid shade right here. One of the prettiest lid shades I've tried out in a while. It is absolutely glorious. The camera's probably not quite doing it justice, but seriously, depending on which direction I turn from the light, it reflects a different color. Very, very pretty. Very nice formulas. The mattes I used were really nice and blendable, very pigmented. Excited to keep playing with this one. Play with some of the other shades inside here. Very fun. Excited about this one. Very impressed with this so far. Let's move on to the lips. So I have 2 new lip liners from LA Girl. These are their Ultimate Intense Wear Auto Liners. I got 2 new shades. I have the shade Forever Bare and the shade Enduring Mauve. So I want to give these a little swatch really quick, and then we'll decide what we want to do for our lips. So I think I mentioned last month that I've been trying to find a dupe for my Charlotte Tilbury lip liner, which is my very favorite lip liner because it lasts forever. And while I haven't quite found a perfect dupe yet, probably the closest one that I found was the shade Nonstop Nude of this lip liner, the LA Girl. That one was pretty close. It lasts quite a long time as well if you do let it set down. So here's the shade Enduring Mauve. Very, very pink. I have a feeling that's going to be too pink for me, honestly. Dang it. I was hoping that would be more of like a gray kind of pink. That can be the hard thing with drugstore lip liners. I find their shades are never quite as good as some of the higher end ones. Like sometimes the pinks are a little too bold or too pink. Sometimes the neutrals are a little bit too orange or too brown. Just hard to find a perfect nude shade. Let's try this one. This is the shade Forever Bare. Better, but still a little kind of like peachy. But I think for today we're going to try this one out, the shade Forever Bare. Really bummed about this pink shade because I don't see myself ever reaching for a shade that pink. It's just not going to look good on me. We'll see. Maybe I'll give it a try before I write it off completely. But let's try this one out. This is the shade, again, Forever Bare. So I'm just going to overline. Make sure I don't have any product on my lips. I'm just going to overline the bottom. Smudge it in a little. And then the top. Again, kind of smudge that in. I'm going to let it set for just a couple minutes to kind of dry down before we go in with the Flower Beauty. So real quickly while I'm waiting for that to kind of set, I just want to show you guys these 2 swatches next to this one, which is the shade Nonstop Nude. I love this one. I think this is still my favorite color. So there's Nonstop Nude right there. That's definitely a good everyday nude kind of shade, at least for what I like in my lip liner. This one I think is still, it's good. Like, it's wearable. I'll be able to wear this one. It's just a little kind of orangey peach. I think I want to go in with Peach Crush today. So I'm just going to take that right on top. And that, my friends, is going to do it. I love that lip color with the eye color. Great little matchy-matchy combination. It even matches my cheeks. So let me just walk you guys through everything so far. So the bronzer, I feel like my cheeks look nice. It doesn't look bad. I want to keep playing with this. I'll kind of let you guys know. So far, I was hoping it would be a little bit darker and maybe a little less warm than it is. It's not like the perfect shade for me, but I do love the packaging. I love the smell of it. I think if you have more fair skin and you like a warm bronzer, you'll probably really like this. The formula is really nice. It's not as shimmery as I was thinking it would be, especially considering I built up like 4 layers of this and I don't think it's overly shimmery. The highlighter This is really, really beautiful. I'm really impressed with this highlighter. The downside to a product like this that has 3 different products inside, and I've actually found this with the other Kaja, I have the Playa Bento Trio in the shade 01. That one, I love the bronzer, I like the blush, but I don't like the highlighter in that one. It's hard to get a product that is kind of a 3-in-1 and end up equally liking all 3 products. I have a feeling I won't be using this glitter on top really at all, but if you are into glitters, it really is beautiful. And then as pretty as this shade on the bottom is, I am excited to try this on my eyes. I just have a feeling I don't reach for individual products all that often on my eyes, so my guess is this might get forgotten about, especially considering the only one I think will probably work for me, although I do really like it, is the center shade. So just be aware of that before going into a product like this. Like, are you actually going to use all 3 products? Maybe it's not a big deal to you. It's not that big of a deal to me, but I just have a feeling I probably won't reach for this as much as I would maybe like to, which is kind of the case with my other Kaja trio. As for the gel crushes, I am super excited about these. Very happy with the one I put on my cheeks. I love that color. Very fun pop of orange for the summertime. I have a feeling this is a color that would probably look good on a lot of different skin tones. This shade looks gorgeous on my lips. I think it's a really pretty shade for the lips. I'm excited to try it out on my cheeks. The peach crush one and then the blackberry crush one. Have high hopes for this one as well. I think it's going to be really nice. I already know I love the formula of these, and these seem pretty consistent with the other 2 that I have. The lip liners, I actually like this lip combination today. I mean, this is a very orangey pink. I don't know if you can tell that on camera, but this is not a shade that I reach for super often. I usually like more of a pinky peach than something that's truly kind of peachy orange, and most of that is coming from this Forever Bare lip liner. I like it, I just don't like it as much as I like the Nonstop Nude shade, and I definitely don't think I'm really gonna like this mauve shade very much. It's just too bold pink. Like, it's too fuchsia in color rather than being more kind of gray tone pink. And last but not least, the eyeshadow palette. I think I shared my thoughts on this thing. I'm very excited about this one. I have very high hopes for this. I do think it's a beautiful color story. Pretty neutral, but gives you some different options as far as neutrals go. I like the setup of it. I think it's really fun. Excited to keep playing with this. I will definitely give you guys an update on this once I have played with everything and really gathered my thoughts on it. But so far, love everything about it. And that is going to do it for this trying new makeup video. What did you guys think? Have you tried some of these products out? Most of this makeup is not that new, so let me know if you have thoughts on any of these products. Did they work for you? Did they not? Let us all know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Always fun to try out new makeup with you guys. Let me give you one last reminder. If you're not yet subscribed to my channel, I hope that you'll do that before you leave. That is going to do it for now. Thank you guys again. I will see you in my next video. Bye. You'll never see a mirror as clean as when you first pull the sticker off of a new palette. It's amazing. You guys want to see my new desk? I have a new white desk. No more knees hitting my desk. It's nice and clean and white and shiny. No more tinfoil on the top. Yes, I did have tinfoil on my last desk.